Welcome.
Welcome to episode 23, I think, of The Joy of Coding. I think this is episode 23. I haven't actually checked. I'm going completely off of memory. I think this is 23. We're going to go with that. Hi, I'm Mike Conley. We're going to be hacking on Firefox Live today, as usual, and let's get down to business. So I should point out, if you were watching this last week, you saw a very rare event, or what you saw, no one will ever see again, because I failed to record the stream. So it was like, those are once-in-a-lifetime video frames you absorbed. No one will ever see them again, so feels special. This one I am recording. I'm sorry if you missed last week's and you wanted to see what happened. It was actually a really awesome episode. I'm really bummed out that I didn't record it. It just happened that I failed to press the button. But I am recording this one. I can see on my laptop here that a little light is flashing saying recording, so we're good to go. So what are we doing today? I also want to point out that I've been bad at keeping up my blog for previous episodes and summaries and stuff. I apologize. I will catch up very soon. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to review a patch here, and then I'm going to work on some printing stuff and maybe removing an unsafe kapow whenever you save a document with E10S. This document that we're looking at right now, I should point out, if you've never seen this before, I know this is supposed to be unplanned, but I kind of have a roadmap, a general roadmap of things I want to do today, and it's in this agenda, and there are some handy links in here, and there's a glossary if you see me saying things that you might not know what I mean, and having this be in front of you while you're watching this might be useful, and it's got links to the notes when I'm hacking on bugs, etc., etc. So if you want to get to this document, there's actually a link below this video, and there's this additional links section. You might have to click on it, and there should be a link at the top that says agenda, and that should take you to this. And if I modify it, your page should also be updated rather soon after I do that. Anyways, so that's just a thing to do. Let's see, what have I got going on? I've got a build going on in the background because I want to do some Linux printing stuff, and I'm waiting for that build to finish, so it's a perfect opportunity for us to review a patch. While I'm blocked on coding, I will review someone else's work. That's kind of how I roll. That way I'm always sort of contributing to helping move the product forward. So let's get started. I have not seen this patch beyond just sort of a cursory glance to get a sense of the size, but I don't really know what's in it. But I can explain what it's trying to do, and then we'll start taking a look at it. So I don't know if you knew this, but whenever you select some stuff in a page like this, you can actually view the source of just the stuff you selected. So if you right-click on that and you choose View Selection Source, we open up a View Source window, and we show you the stuff that you've selected, the actual script, or not script tags, the actual elements, maybe the text, or maybe it's links, or whatever. We show you what it was that you had selected whenever you chose to view source. And that's pretty neat if you wanted to know, what is this thing? How does this work? And you want to ignore, the rest of the page. You just want to see this thing that you've selected. That's a neat thing. One thing I should point out, my machine's rather sluggish because of the build in the background, but one thing I should point out is that this is using unsafe kapows. And if you're curious to know what an unsafe kapow is, I highly recommend checking out the notes, the agenda. I have a link in there about what unsafe kapows are, and I kind of explain how they work. But let's just say we don't want to use them. That's the end goal. And instead of unsafe kapows, what we should be using are messages, sending messages to the child process, sending messages to the parent process, etc., etc. And that's what hopefully this patch is doing. And this will hopefully be building on top of a bunch of view source work I did earlier I think a couple of episodes ago, maybe in the teens, somewhere in those episodes, where I refactored view source so that it never hit the network, or it made it possible to like pull document sources out of like the network cache or something. And so hopefully this is building on top of that. We're going to check it out right now. Before I do this, so this bug isn't very long. If I like scroll up and down, it's not very long, so I'm just going to make sure I have all of the context here. So Ian Moody originally filed this bug, and he says that these are the places where we cause unsafe compile warnings. Here when we attempt to get the character set for the document, and then down here whenever we get the selection. Yeah, that's definitely, like, anytime you're directly manipulating the document or like stuff in the document, like the selection in the parent process, you're probably using a compile. You probably shouldn't, especially if it's synchronous. Like, this is a synchronous manipulation here, trying to get the selection. It's synchronous and it's bad, so we should avoid that. And then we open up this dialog. So this is slightly out of date. This bug was filed back in February, and that was before I did any of my view source work. So all of this is probably slightly outdated, but that's okay. The general idea is fine. Originally I was going to work on this, and then Neil Deacon, who has since taken this bug, he beat me in rock, paper, scissors, so he took this bug. And here we go. Also changes tests that were affected by this. Okay, great. So that's good to know. And let's get started. Let's take a look at this patch. Okay. Well, let's play a sound. Let's check it out. So there are a number of changes here. A lot of changes, actually. These are the tests. I'll review the tests after. How do I want to approach this? So browser ini, this browser underscore bug, and then a number. These are tests. Browser underscore context menu. That I believe is a test. Yes. So and head.js will be part of the tests. So I'm going to review all those at the end. And browser content is, however, something I want to review probably first. But I know kind of how I want to review this now that I've thought about it, and that's from basically how this code would be executed, like in that order. So from the point of, say, right-clicking on a selection in the content area and then choosing view selection source, how does that work with this patch? So I noticed that there's this NS context menu thing, and that is where we sort of the whole kit and caboodle gets started. So let's see what he's doing. Okay, so there's this function called view partial source that takes a context. I'm not entirely sure what a context is. A context looks like it's just a string. It will either be selection or mathml. At least that used to be the case. Yeah. Okay, so he's sort of simplified this patch. First thing we do is we determine whether or not we're opening the source in a window. Okay, and then we have this function. He defines a function where if we're opening it in a window, we don't have a function. But if we are opening it in a window, then we use this function. Sorry, yeah. Okay, so this is for opening it in a tab. Okie dokie. And then this is kind of hard to parse, but like he makes it so that the target variable is this.target if context is math.f is mathml. Which makes sense. Otherwise, it's null. And before it was the selection, but I'm assuming he got rid of that and is like doing other things elsewhere because he can't work with the selection in the parent process. Okay. And then he calls g view source utils view partial source in browser, and he passes in the browser the target, and in this case the target is going to be a compile, but it's when we access a compile, like Capals are bad when you access them, not whenever you like pass them around from function to function. And what's nice is whenever you have a capal in the parent process, say like we have two processes, the parent and the child, and we get a handle on a capal in the parent, if we send that capal down in a message to the child, it becomes a not capal in the child. Like it becomes what the capal is supposed to represent in the child. So it becomes the actual item in the child. That's kind of a nice property. Although it's kind of weird, but we've used that property of capals to our advantage before, and so sometimes it's useful for sort of having the parent be the broker, where it picks up a thing from one place and drops it in another, and you are able to sort of pass objects around via the parent. Although what you're really doing is just sort of telling the child what memory to use or something. And he calls view partial source in browser. He passes in the browser, the target capal, and then an open selection function. So this is new, this view partial source in browser thing. So it sounds like Jaylin is asking how the stream's doing today. He can hear some background noises. That's okay. I don't mind background noises. I'm not distracted by background noises. I can more or less work anywhere. But thank you for your concern, Jaylin. I appreciate it. It's not like I can't do my work.
I can't do my work!
It's a perfect opportunity for that sound effect. Okay, so the next thing I want to look at is this function that he added. Whoa. He got rid of this humongous chunk of code. So I'm going to have to figure out what that was doing. That's a little intimidating, but we will get through it. I'm not sure. Okay, cards on the table. This review is much larger than I thought it would be, and it might take us a good chunk of this episode. So we might not get to the Linux printing stuff that I originally wanted to get to, but hey, that's life. So this might be a mostly review episode. I hope that's okay. So where he is calling into this view partial source in browser. So he's actually changed this function signature from view source from selection in browser to view partial source in browser. If set, a function that will return a browser to open the source, and if null, or this function returns null, opens the source in a new window. Okay. Set to the target node for math.ml. Null for other types of elements. I don't really know how math.ml plays into all of this. So what we do is, this comment isn't very clear. The browser to display the view source in. And then this function returns a browser to open the source in. What? So I have a feeling that this comment is not very clear. Let me just see what the actual definition is. You know what? Sorry, I typed that in wrong. Irony of ironies, I'm pretty certain that I wrote that comment. So maybe I made a mistake. So what was the function that is changing view source from selection? The browser to display the view source in. Displays view source for a selection from some document in the provided browser. Okay. So this is actually, I'm going to say we changed this. So I know you didn't add this comment, but with the any get browser thing we've got going, it's actually not clear whether or not this is the browser that we're supposed to view source in. or the browser we want the view source from. We want to view the source from. Can you please update this to be the browser to display the display the source from? Okay. So that's one thing. So what he does is he gets the message manager for the browser that we want to view the source from. Then he adds a message listener dot selection and then sends a get selection down to it, an empty object. And the target kapow. This is him taking advantage of the fact that whenever the child process receives this target kapow, it won't actually be a kapow. It'll be the actual target, like DOM element. So that's him doing that. And then he adds a message listener for got selection. Okay. First thing he does is immediately removes the message listener. If there's no data, we're done. Then he decides whether or not, based on the function that was passed in, what browser to use. And he constructs a view source browser, and then load view source from selection. Otherwise, unused, and play nice for fragments generated via XSLT. This
so it's 515, probably 45 divided by 8.
I don't think this is necessarily unused. It's just unused by Firefox. This is toolkit code.
So ours is 21.
I suspect there are other apps. I'm looking at Thunderbird and SeaMonkey that might still use this path. So I think unused is erroneous.
Sorry?
So one thing that is kind of this pattern of like add a message listener, send a message. I guess I'm okay with it. It's just if we never hear back from the child, then this thing always sticks around until the next time it's called. And then, like, you'd want to make sure that you are guaranteed to get a response from the child. Get selection. Another problem here. View source get selection and view source dot selection. Wow, are a bit close from there. Can we do view source get selection and view source get selection done? var. I hate vars. Var hoisting is the worst. I also don't understand why we want to pass in a function whenever you could just pass in the browser. That, to me, is strange. Why do we want to pass in a function that produces a browser instead of the browser itself? You know what? Let me go back to the caller of this function and see if I can answer my own question. Maybe there's a good reason. I should assume a good reason, but I should check. Trust, but verify. Hmm. Yeah, I don't think.
Ours was 17. Pi is 50.
Why do we pack? It's probably a simpler API to just have the caller pass in the browser, or null if they want to open it up in a window. So I stand by my comment there. I think that is true. How are we doing for lag? I say, hey, no lag. This is great. I'm recording in no lag. All of the problems that were happening like 2 weeks ago and 1 week ago where I had lag and then I didn't record, they appear to be going away. That's pretty good.
That's right.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's move on. The next thing he does is this get selection, got selection thing. I should see how that's working. What it's resolving to. What's the data it's sending back? So get selection, got selection. I'm going to guess it's in browser content. Yeah. View selection source is this thing inside browser content. And what it does is it tries to get the, if there is a target, then we try and get the mathml selection from it. If not, we just get the normal selection. And then we send up a message with selection details. And so, okay, so this is the, oh, holy smokes, this is the stuff that he removed from that other file. Yowza. Okay.
You're finding your way through your 11.
What are we doing here? So one thing is, I'm pretty sure that there's already a frame script already for ViewSource. Or what am I saying? I think there's already an object that takes care of like handling ViewSource messages in content, browser content.js. I'm wrong. I'm wrong about that. What? So where did I put that stuff? Because that's probably where it should all be in the same place. Is my concern. And where is it? ViewSource browser.jsm. ViewSource content. Huh. So I wonder if that's where this stuff that he's added should go. It's in ViewSource content. Where is ViewSource content loaded? Whoops, no, show all the results, please. Oh. So the reason he's putting it inside browser content is because we're not even at the point where we would have loaded the frame script yet. It's more about gathering data so that we know how to open up the thing that will use the frame script. Okay. Okay, fair enough. See where you're going, Neil. See what you're doing here. So first things first, doesn't make a whole lot of sense to use a switch with just a single case. Might as well just do that. Oh, good. he's making sure that he always sends back this because he's using finally. Good. I'm glad we've got some guarantees that will send back view source dot selection. So this whole thing that's been added is like this massive amount of old code that I think is just getting kind of chucked around, and it's been around for a while, and it was moved into one place, and now it's been moved here, just copy pasted, and it does like a bunch of processing, but it's like, oh, I remember. I think this is for like determining what it is that you've actually selected, like the nodes that you've actually selected based on like your selection. Like it will walk the DOM tree and find the actual nodes that you have selected. Which apparently is harder than it sounds, because like, look at this. And he has removed all of that stuff from here. So anytime there's a big move like this, I like to make sure that like no one's still calling these in the old place. Wow. Well, I should probably figure out what this stuff's doing. That's going to be a pain in the butt. Not too jazzed about that. Huh? He's removing the web nav. That's interesting. That surprises me. I would have thought that we'd still need that. Unless there's only one place where we needed it, which was here. And we load view source from selection. Okay. Well, let's double check. Let's find out if that's the case. View source browser.jsm. Well, as luck would have it, he is right. WebNav is no longer necessary, I believe. Where else is view source browser? Because like this thing is an object, or it defines a like a JavaScript class basically. So anything that does like new view source browser should make sure that no one's calling WebNav on it. So inside session store, okay, nothing doing there. Here in the utils, view source browser equals. These are the three places. And do any of them call? No, they do not use WebNav. I think we're pretty safe. So that removal is fine. And wrap long lines. Should have looked for that one as well. What a waste. Okay, browser. No, it was a view source browser. I am in love with this tool, by the way. DXR. If you've never used DXR before, it's really, really great for checking our source code. It's also open source. So check it out. I don't know where the source code is, but I'll find it somewhere. DXR, Mozilla. It's like, here, it's on GitHub. Use it for your team. Get some DXR going. Eric Rose is the man. He knows what he's doing. Okay, anyways, enough advertising for DXR. So I want wrap long lines. That's used inside load view source from fragment. And that's it. Hey, fantastic. And view source browser dot wrap. No one. Bueller. Okay, so that removal is fine. Good work, Neil. I'm might save figuring out what this thing does to the end. Thing is, like, I more or less trust it because, like, it's this old, reliable piece of code. It's clearly old because it's using all these bars. And it's been around since forever. But I probably should. I need to do my due diligence to understand it. Maybe we can, like, document it a bit more. Figure out what it's doing. But instead of doing, like, all this business, load view source from selection takes a URI, some kind of selection object. We've got, can we, alright, let's get a doc string. And a base URI. Okay. And that's it. Sends this message of just like, load source with selection. Okay, so let's go back a second. We called view partial source in browser. And that was here in utils. And that resulted in us getting the selection and then calling load view source from selection. Or opening this dialog with view partial source and passing in this old stuff in like the old school way. So he called load view source from selection, which is over here now, and that sends a message down to the child saying, load source with selection. He passes all those things over. So consequently, there should be something over here. Yes, load source with selection. He got rid of the schedule draw selection thing. I need to kind of figure out what that's all about. That's interesting. What is schedule draw selection? Chrome has requested that we draw a selection once the content loads. We set a flag and wait for the load event where draw selection will be called to do the good work. I see. So we're basically packing that information with load source with selection. Okay. All our content is held by the data URI, and URIs are internally stored as UTF-8. I think we should have access to in vSource content. Still going, that's crazy. It's a long ass build. Let, not var. Also, we have access to CI here. So we get the flags, the fur policy, we get the doc shell, the web nav. I'm surprised that ViewSource content doesn't already have like some kind of shortcut for the web nav. But so it is. So that is the case. Okay, and then it calls load URI with object options. Blah blah blah. Creates a new URI with the base URI. All right. This needs draw selection stuff is then, like, where was schedule draw selection? Who was sending that before? Schedule draw selection. You send an async message here. Oh, at the very end. See, this is why I have to read these things. This is all that old code, but right at the very end, we send the schedule draw selection. So he's like this using selections and like loading partial source and stuff. It was like leftovers from all the ViewSource refactoring work, and it's like he's finishing the job. Is what it's looking like here. He's putting all the stuff that's supposed to be in content. So thank you, Neil. This all in this file looks very reasonable. I just have like some nits here, but this in here looks pretty straightforward. Doc string for this method, please. I do like my doc strings. They really clear everything out. I tried, because whenever I first wrote view source content, I really wanted to make it like, if you're the first one who's creating a file, I try and use like all of the best practices I can think of to make sure it's clean and beautiful and easy to read. Because what tends to happen is that when people edit it, they will, usually, I find, follow the convention that was set in the file. So if every function, for example, has a doc string of some kind, then people who add or remove things usually tend to follow that convention. So that's what I like to do if I create a new file, is like do it right. And this is me like enforcing that. So doc string, please. Okay. So one of the things he does is he just loads the URI. There's nothing crazy going on in here. This is all very straightforward. So that's fine. Now, where is the, like, these big chunks of things, where is that getting called? Where did he put them? Excuse me. That's the problem with eating lunch immediately before the episode. All of that was moved before we even got here. So it's all like sort of this, it's a, like I was kind of saying before, it's like a precursor to before we even got to the point where we loaded the source. So that's where it moved. I understand. Alright, I'm going to save reading all of this to the very end. I'm pretty sure he just sort of copied and pasted it. I need, like, that's where things are going to go wrong. Like, as soon as you are, like, copying and pasting large swaths of code, things are going to go crazy. So that's where you really, in my experience, you really sort of have to start paying attention. Which sucks, because it's like very, like, just this green blob of new lines. This was moved from here to here. And that's always a pain like that. So what's next? What else do I want to look at? I don't want to look at tests just yet. These removals all looked okay. So I'm fine with this file. I'm reasonably certain that like getPath was only used in this one place. Yeah. And that has since moved, so we don't need it anymore. GetPath. So we had load view source from Fragment. That's gone. So how do we get like a fragment? What would one do? So instead of what used to be fragment, it's just viewing partial source. Okay. Okie dokie. I'm going to start sort of reviewing the leftovers now. So inside the view source script, this is what's loaded inside the window whenever, if the window's ever open. So this is a thing we need to take care of for like the other apps case, like SeaMonkey and Thunderbird and all the things that are, or for the users who have flipped the pref so that they're still opening source in Windows. Because I know they're out there. Here, what did we do? If the window arguments is there are 4 or more, and the third one is partial, then view partial source is going to take care of loading the content. So we just bail out here. Okay. I think that's fine. He moved, so the ordering is changed from like checking that stuff down here to checking it up here. So that I want to sort of figure out why.
I know the only reason to do it would be just maybe to save.
So A arguments.
That is a real reason.
Oh, because we never get to the deprecated part. I'd rather we take care, like, because technically this is the deprecated API. We shouldn't be handling. So what would the first argument be? Would it still be so in resource utils? The first argument is a string. String. So we would enter here. Can we not move this into the You know, now that I think about it, I'm not really jazzed about like using these window arguments more. Like, there are other places in resource utils where we do open the window. Yeah, and here, a args or URL will be an object. So I'd rather we I would rather we use sort of the newer API. Instead of the old school arguments mechanism. This is going to use the old school arguments mechanism, which puts us into the deprecated API method function, I should say, and view source.js. Instead of passing these individually, can you pass them as an object? Like, Open dialog. Global content view partial source.zool. I'm just gonna copy and paste this instead of right. So I know it's kind of blows. I could try and explain what I'm saying, but like this will make it much clearer, I think. So like, what are the arguments that it takes? Source utils. URL. Base URL. Browser. Oh, so the reason he's able to get away with this is because he's using view partial source.zool. Okay, so that's slightly different. URL. Selection. Selection. And base URI. Partial. True. Okay. Can you pass them as a step? Instead of passing them individually, can you pass them as an object like? That's more in line with how we treat view source.zool, which I think consistency is valuable. So base URI. Then can we not check the document? Partial. What's up? So as I'm reviewing a patch, you probably just didn't hear this, but there is a fellow asking if he can interrupt me. His name is Jeff Mizlar. He's from the graphics team, and I'm going to say yes, and we're going to hear what he has to say. This is very realistic. This happens all the time. So yes, Jeff, what is up?
Should I go on camera?
You can if you want. Come on in. Jeff's coming over. Jeff's coming over, everybody. You can lean in.
I've come over to complain about E10S.
Oh, he's come over to complain. We're going to see what happens. This is a first.
This, too, is a very realistic scenario.
This is a very realistic scenario. Okay, now, I might have to repeat a couple of the things that you're saying. I don't know. If anyone out there is watching right now, can you hear Jeff? Jeff, can you say something?
Hello, everybody out there.
Are you hearing Jeff? Richard, report in. Are you hearing Jeff? We can hear him. Great. Okay, great. What is up?
Have you tried switching tabs on E10S?
All day I switch tabs with E10S.
See how the URL text changes first?
Yes, I do.
And there's this bug called this.
Yes. Yeah, there's actually an interesting performance consequence as well, because we will be drawing in the parent, which slows everything down because we're drawing these extra frames, and then the child
messages and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. You know who's actually working on that right now, or looking at it, is Benoit.
Okay. Is it intentional that it switches separately?
Yes, that was done by George for a reason. The reason was because we are had to do with events. We wanted to make it so that if you were like opening a tab and just start typing, that we synchronously focus the URL bar. So we do like a lot of synchronous activity in terms of the toolbar and the URL bar, so that like the order of events, like events do not get dropped while we wait for the frame to be ready from the content process to draw. So we like synchronously switch the tab strip, and then we paint everything whenever the frames are ready. That makes any sense.
But it doesn't make sense for the text to change separately from the tab.
No, that's more of a consequence of what we did. That's not, it wasn't the intention, but it is a consequence.
Okay, but is it understood that
It blows, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is understood that it blows, and probably has performance consequences as well.
Right. Okay. Will it be fixed?
Yes, there is an open button.
Who's assigned to fix it?
It's currently in the E10S perf bucket, which is like the next bucket that we're getting into once we like get out of these like stop the child from aborting and make functions work things.
Okay. So I can complain to George about it too.
Yeah, complain to George and Benoit, and they can help you as well.
It didn't used to be this way.
It's been this way for a couple months. It might be more stark right now because you're having slower tabs. Well, that might. Now that you're using it again, yes.
Thank you for your services.
No problem. That was Jeff, everybody. Big hand. Big round of applause for Jeff.
Oh, Matt.
All right. So, back where I was. So that was me being an apologist for E10S. How did I do? Let me know. So let's dig in here. I was saying about how I want to switch to using an object instead of the sort of old school arguments list. I still believe that, and so I'm going to say yes. Let's go through with that. And then over in viewSource.js,
But even when you're being nice and like on pre-order,
can we not move this into so with my suggestion for where was I? View source utils. We can just do if we can put this under the deprecated API check and then check for args.partial.
I understand.
We really need to fix this sometime.
Well, the thing is, all the characters are.
What is the old API, actually, now that I think about it? Maybe that's what he's doing. He has the old API in mind for view partial source.
Right now there's like 800.
Partial view source partial? What was the HTML called? Zool. I shouldn't call it HTML. What was the Zool called? It was view partial source.zool. So whenever someone calls view partial source.zool, what do they pass to it? The URL, the char set, reference in the context. Right. So, let's see here. Tells. Since we're already changing the signature of what view partial source.zool accepts as arguments, we might as well go with the pattern we set up for view source.zool. So instead of passing this as an object, okay. Great. And then inside view partial source, say view source from selection. Here we would just use the args that we were passed. That's implied, I guess. So this is reviewed. What's left? What's left? It's almost 2 o'clock. We've been reviewing this for like almost an hour. Holy smokes! I think I'm almost ready to call it in terms of this review. But there's like this massive chunk in here that I haven't looked at. So I'm gonna get there. We're gonna do that.
What is that?
So we've got these view source tests that. No, don't use var. Please use let, not var. You're killing me, var. Let pop-up shown promise, browser test fields, wait for event, waits for pop-up shown. So he's opening up a context menu, then he synthesizes a mouse on the, what is ACSS selector? Oh, so this is a utility function, open view partial source window. So who calls this utility function? Open view partial source window. Oh, it wouldn't be in here, so I have to partial open view partial source window. Who calls that? No, open view partial source window. Down here. And a CSS selector from Open Document Select. And Open Document Select. Oh, I see. So there's some query for an item down in the content. I understand what you're doing. I'm picking up what you're laying down. I'm picking it up. Okay. So back to where we were. So he passes this. So he's actually like clicking on an item like this in content, and that opens up the context menu. He waits for the pop-up to be shown, and then he waits for a new tab. So he right-clicks, waits for the pop-up to be shown, and then he's setting up a promise that waits for a new tab. He gets the item in the pop-up menu to view the partial source and clicks on it, and he sets up is there any risk of pop-up hidden firing? No, there isn't. JavaScript single-threaded. Pop-up hidden. He's waiting for it to be hidden, and then this is strange. So he clicks it, and then he's hiding it. But clicking it should hide it. Shouldn't clicking on this item automatically hide the context menu? Why are you manually doing it? Okay. And then he returns the result. Holy smokes, hold up. I've never seen this construction before. He yields the new tab promise. So we're waiting for a new tab to show up. And that is what he's going to return. Okay. That's not so bad. Then this thing, open document select. It used to take a URI and a callback. Now it takes a URI, a CSS selector, and a callback. So we open a new foreground tab at that URI. And then he spawns a content task that selects all the children of an element that match the selector that was passed in. Let me, is this. Open view partial source window. I have never seen yield before. Can you explain it to me? Yield star.
Like that?
JavaScript. I've never seen yield star. Never, never, never. Interesting. Maybe I will learn something. Can you explain it to me? Why do we need it instead of just yield? Oh. Can we... I think it's more common to just return the new tab promise.
I'm sure you'll get there eventually.
I'll just return the new tab promise. Wait until the source has been loaded. Wait, so he adds a message listener for vSource loaded, and then he does a set timeout. We will resolve this promise on the next tick of the event loop. Why? What is vSource loaded? Did I add that? vSource loaded? Sounds like something I'd add. Yes, after the page show event has fired. I see. So that's just like we open the selection and then we just hold up until the page show events fire in the content process, and then we roll. Is there a risk of vSource loaded being fired before we have a chance to set this message listener? It's one of the problems with asynchronicity. Okay, done. We're making progress, people. That's worth a sound effect. I'm going to play a sound effect. That's a good one. I also like. These are all classics. Matt Woodrow likes it. He's smiling.
Here we go!
Alright. I don't want to do this one yet. This is the bad part. You know what? You know what I'm going to do? I've reached sort of a saturation threshold where I'm pretty sure that if I attempt to review this humongous wall of code, I'm going to miss a bunch of stuff. So I'm actually going to not review this part. I'm going to tell Neil that I'm going to review that part later. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. I'm going to finish reviewing the tests, and then I'm just going to post my current comments and tell him I've got more stuff coming tomorrow. Because there's a point where like I just can't do it anymore. So, and I'm nearing that point. So here's another test. He's using add task. That's great. He loads the vSource window, waits until the window is focused. He uses that yield star thing again. That's crazy. I've never seen yield star before. It's all new and exciting. On vSource window open. Is that something that like on vSource window open? So that's actually in this test. Trailing white space, white space. Please get it out. Whew. Okay, you know what? No. Saturation point reached. I can tell that I'm going to be missing a bunch of stuff. Okay, I've reviewed about half of this. This looks great for the most part. It's not half. I've reviewed a little over half of this. Just some minor suggestions. I haven't really reviewed the tests nor the big swath of copy-paste that got put into browser content.js. I'll do that tomorrow. So I'm actually going to keep the review question mark on myself, but perhaps Neil can take these comments that I've put in and, be unblocked. He knows some things that he can either implement or push back on, etc., and so he can keep moving. And that's important. We want to keep moving. So, we kind of did it. We did that review. Partially done. Hooray! Ironic, since part of what this patch does is view partial source. Ha! Right? Is that... Hang on, sad trombone. Huh? No good? Alright. So, I've got about 24 minutes. What did I want to get into next? There's no way I'm going to get to these two. So we're going to be looking at this. Printing multiple copies doesn't work with E10S. This is something I actually was digging into earlier this week, and I made really, really good progress. And I will explain to you what's going on in just a second. So, let me swap the context in. It's kind of what I'm doing in my head right now while we wait. I'm going to close these other tabs. Don't even close other tabs. Yes. And that build finished a while ago. Okay, good. Okay, here we go. So the problem is that on Linux, all you Linux users out there, if you've been printing with E10S on Nightly or Developer Edition, you attempt to tell Linux to print more than one copy, say 5 copies, any number greater than 1. Linux and Cups and Firefox will not listen to you. And it will only print 1 copy. And that was a great mystery. I had no idea what was going on. I still only kind of know what's going on. I came up with a solution. So what ended up happening, so I've got all these bug notes. And I was exploring, and I was down in I had to go, so the library that Firefox uses to talk to, basically to lay out all the widgetry and draw a bunch of stuff on Linux is called GTK. And we also use the sort of printer backend for GTK. And that, in turn, uses what's called cups, at least on the virtual machine I was using here. And so that's the kind of the stack. Firefox talks to GTK, talks to cups. And Firefox seemed to be doing everything right. We were actually telling GTK, print 5 copies of this. And GTK was just saying no. And I did not know why. And what I had to do was get the source and the symbols for GTK, put them in just the right spot so that I could, in my debug build, actually step out of Firefox whenever we are doing all this printing stuff, step into GTK and see what the hell GTK is doing. And that's very different. GTK is really, really strange looking. No, that's not a criticism of all the GTK devs out there who might be watching this. It's just I'm not used to GTK or their patterns or whatnot. Beyond just the little glue stuff I've written in the sort of Gecko GTK widget backend, which is very small. I think I did the printing support and that was it. So actually being down in the guts of GTK in the private members and private methods was very strange. Different patterns. Anyways, what I ended up noticing was that there was this ordering problem. Let me see if... And I can't fully explain it. I'm going to try, but I can't. And that's part of the problem, is that I don't actually know part of the mystery. I have a good number of puzzle pieces to what's going on, but I'm missing a big one. Or the key one. It's right in the middle, where a person's face would be. I'm missing that piece. So a quick refresher on how printing works with E10S. I'm going to make this specific to Linux. It works more or less the same on Windows and OS X, but for the purposes of this particular bug, I'm just talking Linux. What happens is the content process is told we want to print. Content process kicks off the printing engine. Printing engine starts like laying stuff out, and it decides, oh, well, it turns out we want to ask the user for printing settings. So meanwhile, it has its like default set of printing settings that it's been using up till now, but it says, well, we actually have to ask the user like whether or not they want it in color or black and white, what kind of margins, like 2 pages per sheet, like all sorts of details. So what we do is we take the current state of those printing settings, we like serialize them, we turn them into a string, basically. We send that up to the parent, and then we kind of wait in the child process. Meanwhile, the parent takes that string, turns it back into like what is called the GTK print settings object, and like that's wrapped inside an NSI print settings thing that Gecko uses. Lots of abstractions. And then we show the dialog, and then the dialog is what the user fills in, like I want 5 copies, I want to use this printer, etc., etc. And then when that dialog goes away, we take the settings that the user put in there, and we serialize them back down again. We send them down to the child, and then the child like unpacks them all, fills in like all, like uses those settings that were deserialized, and then talks to the printer and says, okay, print. And the reason we have to do that is because the content process isn't allowed to open dialogs. In fact, soon, at least on Windows and I think Linux, or sorry, Windows and OS X, when we start doing sandboxing, the content process isn't actually going to be able to talk to the printer at all. Like there's going to be another like layer where we do the printing in the content process, but then we actually print to a file in a shared memory location, and then we tell the parent about it, and then the parent picks it up and prints that. So there's going to be like multiple, there's going to be a lot of bouncing around of print settings, because I think in that case what you'll do is you'll like serialize print settings in the child, deserialize them in the parent, ask the user for input, user finishes input, serialize down to the child, deserialize in the child, kick off the print engine, write to file. Okay, now we want to print this. Serialize the print settings, send them up to the parent, deserialize them, and then like print the actual file. There's probably a way we can like avoid all that traffic by like holding on to a copy in the parent instead of like just ping-ponging it back and forth. But the good news is printing isn't really a hot path. It doesn't really need to be like snappy performant. I know that like, this is going to sound bad, but like people expect printing as an experience to not be amazing. So the bar is quite low, in my opinion. Anyways, so in that process, I haven't even gotten to the point where things have gotten wrong yet. But whenever the user selects which printer that they want to print from in the parent process, what they're actually doing is selecting a pointer to a printer device that in the parent process points to what's called a GTK printer. And we can't actually send that down to the child. You can't pass pointers around for things outside of shared memory. You can do. The content process has no access to the memory that the parent process is restricted to. So what we have to do instead is we send the name of the printer down to the content process, and then the content process has to scan all of the printers. It enumerates all the printers and finds the one with a matching name and says, okay, we'll be using this one. And that's what it prints off to. And something in there is going wrong, because it has to do with capabilities. It seems like, and this blows my mind, anytime you start a print job, at least on Linux with the CUPS backend, CUPS will ask the printer driver whether or not the printer can do copies. And until it gets an answer, it assumes that it can't, and it can only do a single copy. And that is crazy, because what kind of printer cannot do copies? Like, if you can do it once, I would assume you can do it multiple times, unless it's like a burner printer, where it's like one copy only, and then it explodes. So, I don't know why CUPS asks whether or not the printer can do copies, but it does. It asks for its capabilities, like, can you do copies? And that occurs in this, like, hang on, I wrote all this down. While I'm explaining this to you, I'm not just talking to waste your time, I'm also like, this helps me figure it out by talking it through. And all this context, all these notes are. So the problem, I believe, is in the document, is the sort of the printer enumeration. Because like I said, in the content process, whenever we decide we want to print, we send the name of the printer down, and the child enumerates each of the printers until it finds one with a matching name, and then sends the print job there. But I believe, this is my hypothesis. Let me show you the code where we actually do that. Let me just show you some code. Here's the printer enumerator. So this runs inside a runnable. We say, okay, enumerate the printers in a runnable, because this is going to block the main thread in the content process, in this case. Because we only do this in the content process. And, sorry, it doesn't block the main thread. It spins a sort of a nested event loop in the main thread, which is different than blocking it. And so what happens is we enumerate the printers, we get the printer name. Here's where we find out that the printer name matches the one that we wanted. The requested name matches the current name of the printer that we've just enumerated, and then we start the print job immediately. I think this is where things are going wrong. The patch that I posted to fix this bug, because I posted a patch that appears to fix it. The way it works is we don't actually do that starting of a print job until after this enumerator finishes off. Like, currently we do the print job and then we exit the enumerator. We say we're done. So that's the order. Enumerate, enumerate, enumerate. Found the printer, start print job, enumerator finishes. And my patch does this. Enumerate, enumerate, enumerate. Oh, find the printer, queue up a thing that's going to start the print job, end the enumerator, now start the print job. So it puts the print job starting at the very end. And I think that's important, because what I think we're dealing with here is some kind of like teardown problem, where I've got a feeling for it.
What happened?
How do I explain this? Well, basically, that's what my patch did. It moved the starting the print job right to the very end. When Carl T looked at it, and he was not satisfied with my reasoning. Now, I don't blame him, because I don't actually know why it fixes it. I only know that it does seem to fix it, but I don't know why. And that's what I want to figure out. Why does this fix the problem? Because once I know that, then I can know whether or not this is a proper fix or not. He asks me, the code here doesn't match the comments, but I don't have enough information to know which approach is necessary. What makes you think that it is the enumerator on the stack causing the problem? So this is the question I need answered. Dispatching the event doesn't necessarily mean that it runs after the enumerator finishes, because the enumerator runs the event loop. He's right. He's right. I think I've just added a potential race. Dispatching an event is much better than waiting for the enumerator to finish, because that would mean waiting for network searches to time out. However, identifying the cause of the problem will determine the appropriate solution. So, he likes the idea that we'd be doing this in a runnable, but we don't know why it's fixing the problem, and whether or not it's fixing it appropriately. That is where we're at. My throat is sore. I've been doing a lot of talking. Alright. So, the question is, alright. So Carl T wants some more explanation here. If you don't know what to do, where I am right now, this is my tip for anyone out there. When you don't know what to do, you have to identify the question. Identify the question that you're attempting to solve. If you cannot figure out the answer to that question, try and break it down into smaller questions until you have small enough questions that you can find answers to at least some of them. And generally, that will help you unlock what's going on. That's just a really general hand-wavy approach. Want some more explanation of why this works. So the question, why does this work? Why does my patch work? So going through my notes, I have an aha moment here. And I said, it looks like calling GTK print job send is not really allowed when you're still in the process of enumerating printers. I'm just assuming that, though. And then I write, so I don't actually fully understand what's happened here. So at least I'm honest about it. So I have to figure out why. So I've got my debug build. Here's the other good news, is I don't have to like print off reams and reams of paper in order to test this. Xcode, if you're familiar with it, is an IDE from Apple. And it ships with a printer simulator, which is great, because I don't have to print off reams of paper. So this thing like simulates itself as a printer device, and then I will see the output in here. Not like the actual like drawing of what was printed, but like just a text dump of like stuff was printed and like how many pages. So I can use this instead of wasting a bunch of paper, because I've been doing crazy amounts of print jobs lately because of this bug. I'm going to put this aside until we start testing. So what do I want to do? What do I have here? So my patch that actually fixes, in air quotes, fixes this bug is currently applied. I'm going to move back one, because I want to go back into the broken state so I can more fully understand the broken state. And then I'm going to build. I only made changes, I think, under the widget directory, so I will build there. My nose is really itchy. Do not know why. Let's play some music while we wait. Or how about a drum roll? Will it build? Will it build? I'm gonna run out of drum roll. I ran out of drum roll. Well, because it's reached the linking point, I'm usually pretty confident that it will build. So yay! I should have cheering in here. But until then, I'll do a...
That's right!
There you go. Do. Come on. Come on. Wow. This... Why are you taking so long to link, yo? Holy smokes, this step is taking forever. Meanwhile, I'm just making sure that... So, I'm checking my email at the same time to see if there have been any updates and any relevant bugs. I'm not ignoring you, but this might be... Oh, linking is almost... Linking appears to be done. Where our build was successful. Great. Okay, so let's get this going. mock. So this build that I'm about to boot up here has the problem. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'll just Control C out of that. So I'm going to use Byobu. If you've never used Byobu, it's like Screen, except better. And now I will kick up my debug build. And the reason I'm using Byobu is because I prefer to have tabs as opposed to windows. And Byobu allows me to like switch back and forth between terminals in the same terminal window. And that's good because I'm planning on using GDB for both the parent and the child. Sudo GDB. Great. So now I've got the parent process is 9721. I'll do the parent process in terminal 1. 9721. Attach. I don't know why my VM's so slow today. Oh, it's because I'm swapping like crazy. I'm consuming humongous amounts of RAM. That's why. I'm going to shut down LibreOffice. That might help. Sorry, you're seeing a whole bunch of non-Firefox related text. Just ignore it. I should also shut down Slack. Yeah, free up some RAM. And CrashPlan is like freaking a bunch. Whatever. Okay, so we're attached. That's fine. I also want to attach to the content process when one gets created. Not going. What's the problem? Keep going. There you go. There you go. Keep up. Keep up, machine. Share. Child 10188. There we go. Come on. At least the parent process appears to be running relatively smoothly now. Woo. Well, as smoothly as debug builds run, which is embarrassing. Attached. Great. Now, let's figure out a plan of attack. Here's what I know. Here's what I know, and it all kind of comes down to me understanding, I think, GTK. Where's the source? Build, GTK. Here we are. Here in the GTK land. This is what you're seeing as the source for GTK. There's a lot of it. And GTK print .c is where enumerate printers is. So this is where how we go through the list. And I'm pretty sure this is related to it, and it has to do with destroying the printer list. Like getting rid of the printer list once we're done enumerating. Okay, anyway. So all debuggers are attached. I have a page here. I'm actually going to print something a little simpler because the Google homepage is actually surprisingly not simple. Whoa! Hello? Oh, you know what? I wonder if I've completely screwed myself. I wonder if we're using GTK3 instead of GTK2 now. Oh, no. Oh, well, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. That's not so bad. It would just mean I have to get the source for GTK3. So let's see how bad it is. What am I going to do? I'm going to set some breakpoints. So break in GTK, enumerate printers. Yeah, look, that's just a memory address. Simulate inkjet. Oh yeah, this is a different dialogue. No, this isn't gonna work. Oh. Yeah, I am not in the right place. Shoot. I need to get the symbols and the source for GTK3. Darn it. Alright. Detach. Detach. I watched Interstellar last night. I think I might just quit as well. At one point, Tar says, detach, in a great way. It's 2:31. I'm running out of time. Oh, man. Alright, well, I know Ricardo isn't recording today. Ricardo's not doing his show at 3. Normally, I'd stop right around now. But I'm going to try and carry this through because he's not recording today. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to go for just a little bit longer, maybe 20 minutes. So let's get the GTK3 source. And symbols. Sudo apt-get install GTK libgtk3 debug. Oh, I might want dev and debug. Just give it all to me. I'll take everything. Give me everything. Yes, debug. I think I needed dev in order to build it. And I need the debug symbols. So now I have them. Now I need the source. And I don't know where I'd want to put it. So what I can do is sudo gbb attach 9721. So did a load GTK.
It's so good, Matt. It's so good. That's maybe this is good 2015 is Python's.
Load libgtk3.
I'm not sure if I want it. I just think it's good.
libgtk. libgdk. libns. libmoz gtk. libgtk3. Yeah. Read the symbols. Okay, we got the symbols. We got the symbols. He's got the symbols. All right, so GTK. Enumerate printers. So this is where they expect the source to be. Build, and then the source right there. So that's where I'm going to put the source. So build, and then I'm going to get the source for GTK3. So sudo, apt-get source libgtk3. Oh. Do it. So now we should have GTK 30310.8. That is 30310.8. Yes, okay. Okay, we're back in shape, people. I think we have everything that we need. Sorry for the delay, but now we should be able to debug with GDB all this GTK madness. 10, what was the 10.1.8? Do I have a let's go? I thought I had a let's go. Oh, I've got a here we go.
Here we go!
But I don't have a let's go. I should get that. Oh, I've got okie dokie.
Oh yeah.
That was sorry.
Oh yeah.
Nope, wrong one.
Okie dokie.
There we go. You got the sound effects right. So break GTK, enumerate printers. And parent, continue. Okay, so we're back in business. Let's try and print this document again. Once it catches up. Hello, there we are. I would have expected that to hit enumerate printers, but okay. Okay, well we hit it in the child, so that's good. So now we are enumerating the printers. And we have the source here. And now what do I want to do? I want to examine, so the printing backend is what gets, so there's like all these different levels to, where am I going? All these different levels to the printing. GTK plus 3. And the place that I'm particularly interested in is actually under print backends. We've got cups as the print backend. GTK print backend cups is where a lot of action occurs. Hopefully you can read this font. It's really dark. Maybe I can make this. I don't know if this is readable, people. I'm using like a really dark. Custom term. What's a? No, that's worse. Tango. No. Custom. Green on black. No. There. Maybe that's easier to read. Black on light yellow. Black on white. I don't want to waste time on this. Okay, so let's hopefully you can read this. So the thing that's interesting is there's this place called Avahi. I don't know what Avahi is. So this is an important one. GTK print backend cups dispose, because what this does is this cancels any attempt to like. So whenever we enumerate all the printers, we also get their capabilities, and whenever we are done enumerating the printers, we dispose of the list. And if nothing, I believe the printers on that list, if they have like, if they're being derefed, I believe, then I think that we cancel any attempt to get their capabilities. I think that's what's going on. Browser. Service free. Why am I looking for Avahi? Because there's a we use Avahi. What the hell is Avahi? Sorry for swearing. What is Avahi? It's been time I learned what Avahi is. A zero-conf networking implementation. Great. So we use this networking thing to get the capabilities of the browser. That's what's going on. And there's this place called Avahi Create Browser. And that's not like a web browser. That's like, I think, basically there's signal handlers or event listeners or whatever you want to call them, where we like attach these things that listen to like service browser new on dbus. I don't know, man. Or it subscribes to like things on dbus. But if we get here and the dbus connection, this is what goes on. If the dbus connection has been canceled, then we don't get a chance to do Avahi create browsers. We error out right here. Or we don't actually error out, because in the event that it's been canceled, we silently just return here, because I guess that's an okay condition. And we never do this stuff, which is what hooks us up for hearing about what the capabilities of a browser are. And I shouldn't have said browser. The capabilities of a printer are. So let me write this down. Why does my patch work? I think it's because it makes it so that Avahi create browsers will still get called for the printer that we gObjectRef after the enumerator has exited. Let us confirm this. So let's set a breakpoint in Avahi create browsers. We'll set 2 breakpoints actually. Break in Avahi create browsers, and then we'll put one here in the success case, which is here on line 2909. Okay, and then there's the place where we do the cancellation. What was that dispose thing? This is where we cancel the cups, backend cups thing. So we'll put a breakpoint there as well. GTK, what was it? GTK print backend cups dispose. Okay. Oh, we're already disposing. Great. How did we get here? We got here because we already finished the enumeration. Okay, so we've already missed it. We've missed our chance. And here's the printer simulator seeing a bunch of stuff. And yeah, I had originally said 5 pages and it converted 1 page. So only 1 page got printed. Okay, so the bug is still there. Despite using GTK3, the bug is still there. Okay. Thought I'd get a freebie. Okay, so let's do that again with our breakpoints. So now we're enumerating the printers. We're creating the browsers now because some async function completed. So when does Avahi create browsers get called? When we request the printer list, which is what I would imagine GTK enumerate printers does. We create the browser, we try and get the dbus connection. No error, so we have the dbus connection. So we're setting all this stuff up. That's good. Now we're disposing of a thing. That's the same thing as from over here. We're disposing of an item. I'm guessing it's one of our printers. And why do we dispose of it? It's because the set list is done. We're removing the back end. Run, dispose, print back end, destroy. Print back end set list done. And GTK print back end. Set list done. Calls that. Print back end set list done. So it's actually being called from cups. Here. Inside. What is this thing? The request printer list callback. Done. Go-tos. Oh my. Oh my. How do we get there? Sorry, I'm being a little quiet. Just still thinking. Set list done. And what that does is it emits the signal that the printer list is done. And what that does apparently is now we remove the back end. This printer's removed back end. That's when the list is done. This is done. So this is like a thing that like pumps our function. So let's open up some Gecko code. So this function, the printer enumerator that we pass to GTK enumerate printers, this is what is being called here. Printer list func. True, because once we find the printer, we stop the enumeration. Stopping the enumeration goes through all the backends, and we call the list done callback on the back end. The list done callback, we disconnect things and then we remove the back end. List printers, remove the back end. Where we remove the back end from the list, and we destroy the back end. We unref the back end. So that's a fact. When we stop the enumeration of the GTK printers, it looks like printers remove back end. Let me just make sure I got my facts here. List done callback. We go through every item of the printer list that GTK created and destroy the backends. Stop enumeration. So let's take a look at the documentation for GTK, enumerate printers. Ooh, I get to look at GTK3 source code now, or not source code, documentation. Great. And this is the function that we pass to it. True to stop the enumeration, false to continue. Note that you need to ref printer if you want to keep a reference to it after the function is returned. It's done. So the enumeration can be canceled in two ways. The function that you pass to it returns false, so we stop the enumeration, or we reach the end of the list and that causes us to destroy the backend. So disposing of a bunch of backends. Right? Now, I don't remember how that played out. I should do that again, but I suspect we write printers, we create the browsers, and then we dispose of the backends. And here's the print job. And now, let's take a look at where the starting of the print job occurs. GTK, B, GTK, print job, send, I think that's called. Okay. Let's see where that plays into all of this. Print. 5 copies. We're going to enumerate the printers. Oh, I'm going to also add a breakpoint in as device context spec GTK numeric printers. Right? That's what it was. Or printer enumerator. Amen. So we enter the printer enumerator. Is the printer the right one? No, it is not. So we keep going. So let's add a breakpoint at 277. Creating the browser. We haven't torn down the list yet, so there should be no error. Yeah. Go to the browser again. Now we're disposing. Why? Because the list is done. Why is the list done? To reach the last item? Huh. That's weird. I also don't see any print jobs in the printer simulator. What went wrong there? Let's try it again. There we go. Start the print job. So, we enumerated, and notice that we did not call Avahi create browser yet. Now we're bringing it down. Now we create the browser. And this is going to error out. Yeah, because we canceled it. Okay, here's what I know. Destroy the backends. That is true. When we start the print job from within, when we start the print job within the enumerator, we're using a printer that has a backend that's about to be destroyed once the enumerator exits. Enumerator finishes. I think that's true. Using a printer that has a backend that's about to be destroyed once the enumerator finishes. So maybe I'm just using enumerate printers wrong. Does anyone ever start a print job from within enumerate printers? How do people use GTK enumerate printers? fellow from Novell wrote this thing. Now we enumerate the printer's function wrapper native delegate. What is this destroy helper? Maybe I don't care about that. What is the destroy helper? Function to call if data is no longer needed. That's not true. Alright, show me C. Or C++. There we go. Our door. At least I did it before. Something simpler, please. With web. Interesting. It's just not a good time to start a job. That's the conclusion I'd come to before, but I need proof. I need to understand why. So what I know is that it looks like GTK print backend cups dispose is called before we can call Avapi create browser. And that seems to be the key to hearing about whether or not a printer backend can do copies. So I'm about to call it. I've been doing this for about 2 hours. I'm gonna maybe call it in a sec, but before we do that, let's see it when it works. Let's do a print job in the parent process, and let's walk it through that, and maybe we'll have a breakthrough, maybe not. And then I'm gonna call it. That was episode 23. Not as flashy as last week. Last week I tore apart some bugs and it was so flashy and man, it felt good. This week it was more down in the grind. Okay. So this is a non-ETNS window. So I want to set similar breakpoints here. So this device, context, spec, GTK, printer, enumerator. To 77. What else? Vahi create browsers. Make at GTK print job send. GTK print backend cups dispose. Print backend cups dispose. Alright, so double checking, this is a non-ETMS window. Thread to wake up. Yeah, okay. So we're going to print. Now, when the dialog is opened, we call Avahi create browsers because of something. I don't know why. Because we're running a dialog, and that causes us to do that. This is like the very first thing we do. And then we start to dispose. And the reason I'm not hitting print job start or send or whatever is because apparently I can't find some kind of device. Weird. They're printing properly earlier. Oh, there it is. There it is. And yeah, my print job comes in. I log, and it's using encryption. It's going to tell me how many pages. Holy smokes, what are you doing? Take your time, printer simulator. There we go. 5 pages. 5 pages, as one would hope. It's called before we can call Avahi create browser. In single process mode, Avahi create browser is called long before GTK print backend cups dispose. Dispose is called once the dialog is closed. So that's some information. I'll see if I can maybe summarize this and put this in the bug if you're interested. I'm really tired. That took a lot out of me. I'm going to go see if I can slam back some caffeine or sugar or something and hack into some different things. But I think I'm going to call it. So it wasn't as a slam dunk an episode as last week. I apologize, but
What happened?
But it was all right. Let me see here. Okay, so that was episode 23. Thank you so much for watching episode 23 of The Joy of Coding. We got a big review done. Oh, well, mostly done. I reviewed a good chunk of it. Maybe I'll review the rest of it now that I've not been reviewing for a little while and get back to reviewing. And then I kind of like poked around in this GTK printing bug that's been sort of infuriating me. I haven't really figured it out yet. And that was what we did today. Thank you so much for watching. If you are interested in live hacking on Mozilla things, maybe you do, I don't know, ops stuff, OPSEC, or maybe you're in, I don't know, maybe you're a designer for the foundation like Ricardo, or maybe you do QA, or who knows what you do. and you want to live hack or basically do your work in front of people here on Amazilla, that's awesome. I highly encourage it. Come talk to myself or Richard in #live hacking in IRC. I am M. Conley in IRC. He is Richard in IRC, and we can hook you up. We can show you what you need to do, and that'd be great because we want to see more good stuff here on Amazilla. So thank you so much again for watching episode 23 of The Joy of Coding. I will see you next week.
The joy of coding.
Take care.